Let there be light. Oh no, it would have been cooler if the light switch was on. 1 second. There we go. We have light, guys. Welcome to my new YouTube studio. I have a microphone now. Things are really looking up for me. So, for today's video, I thought it would be fun to do a little story time because a lot of you guys don't know very much about me. And during this story time, I will be coloring because I cannot just sit here and talk. That'd be boring. I'm using colored pencils and paint. Okay, so today's story time is actually about when I worked at Gamestop. Yes, you heard correctly, me. I worked at Gamestop. What did I do at Gamestop? Well, how about we just go all the way back to when I first got hired at this so-called Gamestop. I went in and I had applied for the job online, and they gave me a call back and they said, hey, we'd like to interview you. And I said, okay. So I went. And my first instinct was like, this is going to be freaking awesome. I'm going to work at a GameStop. I'm sure they pay well because you see GameStop employees that never leave. At least I have. So I was like, this should be fun. And then I showed up for the interview. Day of, and I was actually in beauty school still, so like the only time I could work was on the weekends and from like 4 or something to close. So I let him know that, and he did not really give me any details about a position. He asked me like, what kind of games do you like to play, and how long have you been around, or what kind of like game systems do you have, like are you familiar with other games, you know, stuff like that. And I bullshitted through the entire interview. Like, yes, I play video games, but the kind of games I play are like Sims 4 and Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon, Slime Rancher, like stuff like that. I hadn't, like, I knew a little bit, don't get me wrong, but it was mostly from like watching my brother. So I was like, sure, I know all about Assassin's Creed, even though I had never played the game, and I know there's like 16. So anyway, long story short, he was like, I think you're perfect for this job. And I was like, okay. And by the way, you start this date. Here, your uniform is to just wear like a game t-shirt and jeans, and you're a manager. What? Yes, I got hired on as a GameStop manager without even knowing that that was what I was applying for. I thought I was just getting a sales like position, like going at the front desk, whatever. But I was like, you know what, this will be cool. I've never done management. I'm going to try it. So I said I would try it. I haven't even started coloring. That is how good of a story time this is. Anyway, so I show up, and my responsibilities as the new manager were to check like devices in and out. Like when people were selling them back to us, I would check them, make sure all the like buttons on the controller worked, the buttons on the device, the inside the disc, whatever, all of that. And that would like be like PS4s, Xboxes, whatever. I would also check people out. I would handle closing. I'd do the register and take all the money out, put it into a safe at the end of the night, lock it up, set the alarms, all that good stuff. Yeah, so I had never done any of that, so I was really, like, new to this position, and I walk in on the first day, and I see that there was not very many staff. There were only, like, 3 people who had actually worked there, and then one of the guys, he comes up to me, and he's like, yeah, a couple people got really pissed off when they heard they fired the last manager, and so they all quit. So I walked into a position where everyone was basically pissed off, and 5 people had quit because of firing that manager, and there were 3 people left who hated me. Of course, because I'm the new manager. I took the position of their favorite manager who was probably corrupt and had to get fired. But anyway, besides the point. So I took that position, and everyone kind of hated me at first. They were like, what the fuck? And, excuse me, scratch all that. What the hell? No, that's even worse. Anyway, the point is that, and by the way, I was the only female working at this GameStop until I hired a female, and she was awesome. But anyway, so everyone kind of thought I didn't know what I was doing, which I did not know what I was doing. But I learned quick, and I did what I needed to do. I closed and opened the store. Anyway, of course, you can't work at a GameStop without someone hitting on you. So there was a guy I worked with who hit on me, and it was weird. So I was like, oh my god, this is so awkward. So that happened, and my manager, like, or not the manager, but like the guy above me, whoever was my boss, he was really stressed out all the time because there were not that many people working. It was around COVID, and he was always trying to hire people. No one would show up. I felt bad for the guy, but he was really cool, friendly, whatever. So then comes the time where I got kind of tired of GameStop. I was working really late at night doing all these like stocking things for them. They didn't pay well. As a manager, I'm pretty sure I only got $9 an hour, maybe 10 as a manager, which is ridiculous. But at the same time, I had never worked in the company, so I didn't even know what a starting wage was, you know? So I was just like, whatever. I took it like it, whatever. And then I got fed up and I decided to leave that job. And it was kind of like awkward of a situation because my boss was struggling this whole time I had known him to find people that were consistent and would show up. Because again, I told you we only had like 3 people working under me. So that means 5 in total. And then there was the like regional managers and stuff, of course, but we had 5 employees working at my store that I would see. And he was really panicked. Like, I needed to work these days, otherwise there would be no one there, because a lot of the times I worked alone and stuff like that. I closed and all that. No one else could. But I had to tell him. So I called him at my beauty school because I was too scared. And my friend Paige, I will never forget, she was like hyping me up. She was like, you need to do this, whatever, get it done, just call them and tell them. So I call him and I'm like, hey, I'm really sorry, but I can't show up anymore. And he's like, why? And I was like, I just can't do it. I'll do my 2 weeks, but I can't like keep working. I have to focus on school and finishing my beauty school. He was so upset. He hung up the phone, and then he sent me a text to come in and return your keys, because I had like all the keys to open the building and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, you know, last day at GameStop, whatever. And he told me not to work my 2 weeks. That's how mad he was. So I went and returned my keys to him, and he wouldn't even come and talk to me. And the girl that I had got hired, who she was really chill, she came and grabbed the keys from me, like, you know, they were all mad at me. I was like, awkward. But yeah, that was the time I worked at GameStop. It was pretty fun. Yeah, like I said, I really just talked about games. I would hang up like posters for all the new games that would come in new releases, which was really cool. Game art can be freaking awesome. But that was one of my many jobs. So there's my story time, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening. If you like videos like these, please let me know. I didn't even draw. Here, let me draw something really fast. I didn't draw anything because I was so like into the story. Okay, guys, here you go. I drew a little smiley face. Thank you for watching. Bye. I gotta get used to this.